as you can tell, we are live from the courthouse. It is day one of, wait, do we want the sun? Here we go. It is day one of Diddy sentencing. Why do I say day one? Because, all right, it is day one of Diddy sentencing. Hold on, is this public? Let's actually see. It is day one of, am I public? I don't know. Let's see, I might not be public. Let me go out and come right back in. Hold on. Oh, wait. I think I am public. Okay, here we go. All right, I was about to cancel the stream. Okay, you see me. Okay, so it is day one of, everybody say thank you to Marie for doing my makeup. She did an amazing job. But anyway, listen, it's day one of Diddy's trial, or Diddy's sentencing, okay? Why do I say day one? Because they are saying that, okay? Thank you, Makeup by Marie did my makeup. So listen, it's day one of Diddy's trial. What does that mean? The sentencing. Why do we say day one? Because it is expected, and we don't know for sure because it's up to the judge, but it's expected this might turn into a 2-day thing. Why a lot of media are bracing for this to turn into a 2-day thing. Why would it turn in 2 days? Because here's what's gonna happen. The judge is going to go through the whole case. Every single detail, every single issue. Basically, he's making the case and laying the groundwork for why Diddy may or may not be seeing sunlight for the next 10 years. Side note, did you guys see the video that Diddy released? Diddy released something, I think like at 1 in the morning or 2 in the morning. It was the 11-minute video that he wants the judge to see. I saw that video. That video was a montage of Diddy helping the kids, Diddy helping the community, Diddy doing so much. It was a whole montage. The funny thing about this montage is he didn't say anything. The footage from when he was like 19, 20 years old. The last time he did something good, the twins was this high on him. It was a mess. Did y'all see the video? The video was a mess. It just had old stuff, and it showed that he loved his family and that his family loved him. But I'm confused because even when there are rapists, where there are PDF files, when there are murderers, there are a bunch of people sitting there saying, no, we love them. They're the best person in the world. We love them. Please, God. Like, do you not think even the devil got his hitters sitting there testifying, arguing with God arguing with God? Why you gotta do that? He was just doing this. All he wanted to do was play some music in heaven. Why did you kick him out? On top of that, what he showed was the charter school and said that he made so much stuff. A billionaire was running and the kids were like, what are you doing here? And he was like, yo, I'm running so you can get some free books from school, right? On top of that, what else did he say? He talked about the charter school. He didn't talk. It was nothing but music. And him doing a montage from when he was 20 years old. Talking about some, yeah, you gotta do the best. You gotta be the best. You gotta inspire. And it was all these people hugging him and crying and acting like whatever. But in my mind, I'm like, this is having the opposite effect on me, because if you influence that many people, if you had that much influence on people, on children, on kids, if you had that much influence, then I think you need to be in jail, because they need to know that if you put your hands on a woman, if you engage in prostituting, rugs, and if you do it, it's not even the fact of what he did, it's how he did it. You need to know that if you do that, right, you will be kept in jail. There has to be some accountability. I know people think, for whatever reason, that putting their hands on a woman, forcing somebody to have drugs, keeping somebody coked and doing all this stuff. I know like in the 80s, in the 90s, when Diddy was in his heyday, that might have been acceptable, but times have changed. Just like it used to be funny to roofie girls, and now it literally is a criminal offense. So, right? What do we know? Hold on. So, what do we know? We know that Judge Aaron has to go through the whole case. He is going to go in and out of the case, but in going through the case, he's going to explain why he did what with sentencing. So he's going to go through the whole case. If he's done going through the whole case before lunchtime, then it's expected that we'll wrap up today and he'll be sentenced today. If he goes on past lunchtime, it's expected that this will roll into Monday. Why? Diddy got a billion lawyers, right? We got Xavier Donaldson, Nicole Westmoreland, Brian Still, Shapiro, Driscoll, and of course, Mark Agnifilio, right? They all, I think they want to all, not all speak, but four of the lawyers who I'm guessing will be Xavier, Xavier, Agnifilio, Westmoreland, and what's the other one? Oh, Brian Still, right? Hey, Area 35, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. Thank you. You guys make sure you say hi, and thank you to Area 35 for doing it. They're expected to speak. Why aren't Shapiro and Driscoll going to speak? Because Shapiro and Driscoll are the lawyers that are going to be handling his appeal. Diddy is going to have to appeal, even though bad luck for people that think that Diddy's going to get that appeal. When on the constitutional issue on whether he engaged in prostituting, Judge Aaron, first of all, denied the motion for new trial and denied the motion for acquittal. But the motion for new trial, which was the biggest, I think, chance he had of actually getting free, the motion for new trial, the reason why that was so bad for Diddy is Judge Aaron made an airtight case. He used Diddy's words. He used his lawyer's words. He used the Cassie's testimony, Jane's testimony. He used so much. He shored it up. He said, first of all, you pretty much admitted. Second of all, just because you film something doesn't make it art. Third of all, this is the legal definition of prostituting. Okay, so Diddy was pretty much done for after that. Hold on, let me tie my dress. I had a really cute outfit to wear today, for those of you guys that care why we take this interlude. But this New York weather, I don't understand it. I thought it was going to be so warm. I had a cute little outfit, and I went out last night and it was 46 degrees. I said, oh no, let's bring the, not even the long sleeves, let's bring the bat wings out. This is my outfit in case anybody cares. Okay, you guys don't care. Okay, fine, I'll get back to work. Okay, ready? God. Okay, fine, I'll stick to it and get back to work. In any case, so when it comes to it, the judge left no room for an appeal. And let me tell you something, appeal is a very, very, very high burden to me. And here's the thing with appeal, it's not about whether there's evidence. You can't just show evidence wasn't presented in court. You must show two things. One, there was either a procedural error, an error of law, procedural error that the judge made or the court made, and we all know that's not what happened, right? Because Judge Aaron said, not on my watch, right? Oh, Terry Berkeley, thank you for joining Title Talks family. There must be a procedural error, or there must be new evidence. But hold on, then you have to show a second burden, that not only was the new evidence there or something that could have gotten you off, but you have to prove that beyond a reasonable doubt, right? Beyond a reasonable doubt. You have to prove that beyond a reasonable doubt that what happened? Beyond a reasonable doubt that it would have made sure and the jury would have said, you know what, they can go free. That's a high measure to make. Not only is it something that they did wrong, or something that you didn't see, but it would have allowed you to go free. The jury would have found you not guilty had they heard that evidence. That is a very, very high bar to reach. Most people don't. Judge Aaron showed that even Diddy's argument, it was an argument for law school. Yeah, on the books in the class of law school, you can argue back and forth. Well, is it prostituting? I don't know, they said. But in real life, when you actually apply the law, it is 100% prostituting. So Diddy's new trial, acquittal, but he's going to try. He's going to try. Now, here's the real gag. I'm wondering what's going on with Diddy's cash right now. Because, hear me out. I know Diddy owns those two houses. One's worth 50 million, one's worth, I don't know, 29 million, or maybe it's 40 million. I don't know. But outside of that, what cash flow does Diddy have to keep these lawyers above debt? These lawyers are costing him a fortune. And don't get me wrong, they were very good at what they did. I would argue it was morally bankrupt, but I guess defense attorneys, right? It's a constitutional right. The whole point of the matter is Diddy might be short on cash, or his cash might be drying up. Now, he does have his houses that he can take mortgages on and he can borrow against, but depending on the way the sentencing goes, he hasn't even gotten hit with all the civil trials that are waiting for him. Even to the fact that he was convicted of the Mann Act, if a prostitute chooses to come back and say they felt, because of the Mann Act conviction, it makes it much easier for victims to come forward, especially if they say they are prostitutes, to come forward and it makes it much harder for victims or prostitutes. There's kids going by. Let me stop saying prostitute. I don't want to burn their young ears. Just wait for the babies to go by. They shouldn't know what it is, but I don't want to be the first one to even put that word in their head. Mama, what prostitute? Okay, so anyway. Listen, so also Latrice Strong, thank you for the super chat. I'm gonna answer questions in a second. Let me just get through this. There's so much to say. Okay, so anyway, okay, so in any case, right, we get back to the Diddy thing. Oh, Nana7 said good morning. Oh, thank you. Let's hope 20 years in total. Love Belgium. Here's what I think. I honestly do think that Diddy is going to end up getting years. Now, I know what y'all saying, Tisa, you thought he was going to be guilty of RICO. I think RICO was proven. I think the jury got it wrong. And looking back, I think even myself as a part of new media and even social media, I think we bear a part. So I was talking to a lawyer, and they said that one of the things, that the reasons why the jury might have let him go is because people don't like sending people away for the rest of their life. They just don't. And by all of us, and again, I bear the brunt. I stand on business for what I did. It was like, yo, Diddy going to jail for life? Diddy going to jail for life? They're saying that the jury could have heard that, or people around, and they didn't want to convict on RICO or anything else because they were thinking that man don't deserve to go to jail for life. That's what they were thinking. Now, who knows? It could have just been they just didn't care about women, because I think that's true too. But at the end of the day, anyway, so Diddy's appeal and new trial hopes, here's the thing in the court of law, you can request whatever you want. You can request whatever you want. They will entertain his appeal, and they'll entertain his new trial. The thing is, I am not sure how successful it's going to be, because Judge Aaron destroyed Diddy's team and read Diddy's team down. So when you look at that, it's like, what else is there to actually say? Okay, so where are we at? Why is it going to go 2 days? The prosecution wants to speak. The witnesses want to speak. The victims want to speak. And I believe Diddy's going to maybe have character witnesses speak. Diddy posted an unhinged 11-minute video. And remember, I was mocking him yesterday saying, what are you possibly going to say? He did an unhinged video where he did a montage of his family kissing him, loving him. And to me, again, murderers, rapists, PDF files got people in court defending them all the MFing time. To me, the people you love, loving you, that doesn't mean anything. It does, but it doesn't. Not when it's supposed to show I couldn't have did this. Not when it shows like I couldn't have did this because I'm such a good person, because look how my kids love me. Look what the thing, it's like, okay, fine, whatever, right? Anyway, the defense, and why do I think the defense is going to literally wear this out? I think the defense is going to wear this out because I think the defense, they're charging Diddy buku money, and Diddy knows that he is going broke. So Diddy knows that he's going to have to do what he's going to have to do when he's going to have to do it to get things out. Another thing that is going on, right? Diddy revealed in the video, it was weird. If you guys haven't seen the video, I don't know if it's copyrighted or not, because you know Diddy's team is probably waiting to strike my channel. But the thing is that happened with the video, a couple of interesting things. I'll let you know. One, he showed himself in the room while his mother Janice was getting brain surgery. That was very sad indeed, that Janice Combs was going to have like brain surgery, and her head was shaved and she looked so frail and so old. I swear when I see Janice Combs, my heart does break. She looks like my grandmother, size and everything. He was like, it literally looked, she looked like my grandmother. She looked like and it broke my heart. But then the second part, I'm like, this is weird. Because why are you in such an emotional moment with your mom while she's sitting in the hospital bed looking so frail, barely can like literally look like she's on her last leg, and you're literally filming yourself being a good son and laying in bed? It's very odd. But then he also showed footage of him crying at Kim Porter's the thing about Kim Porter's death, and he showed footage of him teary-eyed, crying into his eyes. I said, I bet you it's guilt. Now, we don't know if Diddy had anything to do with Kim Porter's passing, but I can't imagine Diddy treated Kim Porter any better than he actually treated, hey, how you doing? Any better than he actually treated I mean, I just don't imagine. I feel like when somebody has that, it really doesn't matter. It's all the same thing. Okay, so then he showed himself crying 3 times, breaking down in tears over Kim Porter. It showed Christian and him, and I think Justin standing there looking sad at Kim Porter's funeral. And I'm like, why are you using Kim Porter's death to get out of jail? I get it. You're desperate to get out of jail, but there are some things that are sacred. And it was literally just him zooming in on him crying. And when I watched that video, I was like, yo, this is a masterclass of ego, of narcissism. It's kind of like he was sitting there like, yes, even I, the great king of the world, even I cried when she died. Look, real human tears. And the whole video, if you guys haven't seen it, it was nonsensical. It literally was a montage of his greatest hits. I was like, what is going on? He didn't say any words. He didn't explain anything. It was just a montage. Him running a marathon with his ankle hurt. Now, you are literally about to go for prostituting. You make a video to show the judge that you want shown in court of him running in a marathon and his ankle gets hurt. And they're just like, no, you gotta quit your ankle. And he's like, I can't do this. This is for the kids. This is for the kids' school. And you see him limping across the finish line. And I was sitting there like this. I'm very confused. Sir, get back in your jail cell. Get guards. He got his phone again. I said he would have been better off Xeroxing Mia's book and passing that around to the judge. Because Mia's book had more heartfelt sincerity. And I was like, I'm confused. So you ran a marathon, which you were already a billionaire, and you could have just wrote a check and paid for all the kids. One summer yacht for 2 weeks. You could have sacrificed that yacht and given that, what is that, 1.5 million for a yacht for 2 weeks? You could have given that 1.5 million to the school district. I think 2 weeks, that's like what, 3 to 4 million? You could have given that to the school district. You ran in the thing, you crossed the finish line, and he kept saying, what he says, I'm a winner? No, I'm not. I'm a winner. Hey, what's up? I'm a winner. I'm a god among men. I don't know. He had some stupid shirt on that I was just rolling my eyes at. He ran across the finish line. Again, you know me. I'm like, what is the point? I was watching it, right? I was sitting there watching it with Lenny, and we looked at each other, and I just literally fast forwarded. After 5 minutes, I'm like, what is going on? And I literally started fast forwarding, looking at the preview go by. It wasn't nothing but pure propaganda. It was propaganda to its finest. And it just, I don't understand. If I was Judge Aaron at the end, I'd be like, yes, thank you for that. Does anybody have anything else to say? And he wants the 11-minute thing shown, and then he's going to speak, I think, directly to the judge. But again, the fact that he is trying to razzle dazzle and he's doing this whole thing about, and it, again, the footage is 20 years old. Kids being like, yeah, grabbing him, hugging him, them being like, yo, I look up to you and this and that. And I was like, this is having the opposite effect of me. If I know that kids really look up to you that much, if I know that people see you as their hero and they want to follow in your steps that much, then that makes me think that I have to make an example of you. That makes me think that you should be in jail. Hey, Deanna Stover, thank you so much for the super chat. Anyway, so thank you, Deanna. Appreciate that greatly. So anyway, where are we at? This might move into Monday. It's going to be a long day in court. The defense wants, all the lawyers want to speak. They want to go over evidence, and they want to have their, They want to have their people and the character witnesses and come up and speak. It is unclear who is going to address the court, if anyone outside of Diddy, but they definitely want people to address the court. The prosecution, they are ready. And also the judge demanded that the prosecution see the 15-minute video before it's presented to court. It was actually 11 minutes, right? Another lie. It was actually 11 minutes. And yeah, I'm sure the prosecution is ripping into us right now. I will say this. I do wish Maureen Comey was here. And I wish she was here to argue this because I know she would eat Diddy up. She would, Maureen Comey, she was that girl in court. Emily's good too, they're all good, but Maureen Comey, oh, she was that good, right? But somebody said, wouldn't it be funny if Maureen Comey actually comes into court and sits there? Because even though she was fired, it doesn't mean she can't come and cheer on her co-workers in federal court. Tatiana De Sopira said, hey, Tisa. Hold on, where'd the thing go? You said, hey, Tisa. Big sister, thank you for the super chat. Let me see if I can find Tatiana's super chat. Hold on, Tatiana. I don't know why I lost it. Hold on. There's Big Sister. Where's Tatiana? Hold on. There's Dina. Where's Tatiana? Oh! Listen. Dennis Byron. Did you get a real job yet? Or like, what's going on? Those government checks got you looking good. Let's give a shout out. Did you get a real journalist job? Or are you still living out your car? What's going on, Dennis Byron? You still making up lies, calling yourself a journalist? You still working for TMZ Nowhere Division? Do you? Are you? You still claiming you work for TMZ, but you don't actually really work for TMZ and you living out your car? I'm just wondering. I'm just wondering. Listen, I'm just wondering. In any case, right? Yes, I am here back at my my place of business. There are a bunch of people that are pretending to be journalists, pretending to work for TMZ, living out their car, and at 65, spreading rumors and running gossip worse than 13 and 14-year-old girls. But like my daddy said, don't nobody gossip and be petty like an old man that ain't got a pot to pee in. So I don't know. That's what it is in. Listen, it is what it is, right? There is no sadder thing by land or sea than a poor ninja saying, woe by me. Daniel Foster, thank you so much for the super chat. Okay, listen. Anyway, fine. Cool beans. Thank you for the super chat. Okay, so listen, let's get back into it. All right? Let's get back into it. So anyway, listen. People mad that my ad dollars pay my bills, baby. Thank you guys also for actually paying my bills. I really do appreciate you guys for your time and your attention and your patience. Anyway, let's get back into the evening drop. Okay, so what are we doing? Oh, so back into this, right? So, where are we at? Listen. So that's where we're at. Now, what are we doing with this, right? No, I am not gonna stop. Would y'all say stop messing with my hair? But why? Why should I stop messing with my hair? What's wrong with my hair? Don't want me to stop messing with it? All right, here we go. So anyway, breaking news is, okay, let me stop playing. Okay, also, there's a couple of things that they're changing. They are no longer letting people run in and out of the courtroom. We will have breaks and we will have lunch, and I will be updating you on the breaks and lunch, but they are not letting us run in and out the courtroom whenever we want. Judge Aaron is treating the sentencing the same way he treated closing arguments. He would say the door is closed. No, you can't come back in. Show some respect for the court. And I get it. This actually is the day where he decides whether Diddy's not going to see Baby Love for 10 or 11 days, right? This is the time. Yeah. So listen. So I'm being nosy, listening to conversations on the street. Being nosy, you know. So yeah, a lot of stuff was happening. They ain't talking about nothing. So anyway, right? I thought we was hearing some gossip. Larissa M, thank you so much for the, how long before the case? Sorry, I didn't tell you guys. Okay, so it's actually starting at 10 o'clock. They told us to be back up in our seats by 9:30 a.m. No one is allowed in the courthouse. Judge Aaron is tired. That's another thing. If you guys don't know, look at this. They have, usually we could, remember I said that instead of being in the court, a lot of people were acting like they were in court, but they were in the courtyard playing hooky and being the bad kids from school, truants. Well, look, Judge Aaron said, I'm sick of you guys. He blocked off the whole federal courtyard. Everything, even down the street, everything's blocked off. Because some people don't know how to act, we're not allowed to film in the courtyard. We're not allowed to hang out in the courtyard. We're not allowed to do anything in the courtyard. But it's one thing. Hey, Crazy Eyes, thank you so much for the super chat. But you know what? It's okay. Judge Aaron is also running a tight ship. Again, he doesn't want anything like that to happen. The whole courthouse was actually shocked and appalled by the way that the Diddy supporters turned this mug out and destroyed the courthouse. He was shocked and he was appalled. As a matter of fact, when I was in the employee meeting for federal informants, that, you know, there's a YouTube division. When I was in the employee meeting for the federal informants, they were asking me, why do you think they tore it up? And I said, because they're animals. And, you know, some people didn't like that, but that's why they did it. In any case, they're severely limiting now where we can go, what we can say, who we can actually talk to. But it don't matter, because, you know, I'm still going to be bringing, I don't care if I have to fake. They said you can't leave, and I was like, what if it's a medical emergency? And they were like, oh, if it was a medical emergency, maybe. Aw, look at the little doggy. Listen, they were like, oh, look at the little doggy, right? And the federal marshals with the dog sniffer, they got online. Look, they trying to get people out of here any which way they can. They even got the drug dog sniffing, right? Don't bother me none. So, but anyway, I was like, yo, what if I have a medical emergency? Can I leave? And they was like, the federal guards were like, I mean, if it's a medical emergency, of course. So you know me, I'm going to be in there. I can't breathe. Can I go outside? You guys, guess what? I just hope none of Judge Aaron's clerks know about me. Because they're going to be sitting there watching me being like, okay, guys, I told them that I was having a panic attack. I only got 10 minutes. So anyway, blah, 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 blah. And then I'm going to come back in like, thanks, guys. Yeah, I had a Nutri-Grain bar, the blueberry one. Whew, I feel a lot better now. No, I put some yogurt on my stomach. I'm good. Rock On said, much respect for you to being true to yourself. Thank y'all. And thank y'all for actually standing with me and being true to yourselves. But listen, this is a Natasha Denona palette. Makeup by Marie did my thing. I'll tag her on one of my things. I'll tag her on my Instagram. She's the best makeup artist if y'all need one, right? I'm gonna be, I can't breathe. Please, literally, I'm gonna literally let them drag me out. I'm gonna be dragged out and then to be in the courtyard. Okay, guys, so here's what happened, blah, 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 and then run back in. But something tells me they're gonna be watching, and that's another thing. There's so many haters. I'm sure that Diddy will be like, Yana, she's outside on her phone right now. But yeah, it's gonna be a great day. I'm actually really excited for this, because here's the thing that I think Diddy's team is worried about, and you need to think about this. The jury was about creating a reasonable doubt, right? That doesn't mean that Diddy was innocent. It means that the defense did an excellent job, right? It was morally bankrupt. But honestly, if I ever got convicted on some crazy stuff and I had enough money, you would see me standing right next to Mark Agnifilio, Brian Still, Xavier Donaldson, Nicole Westmoreland like this. They'd be like, Tease, I thought you said they were double. Yeah, well, I did some evil shit. I need defending. I would be standing next to them like, huh? Well, yeah, I just wanted to, right? So I would hire them if I got into some crazy stuff. But the thing is, I ain't never going to be in some crazy stuff because I don't do crazy stuff or be around crazy people, right? But the whole point of the matter is, there's protesters now? What? Sorry, there's protesters now. Oh my God. Yo, the day's shaping up. Protesters just took off and they're about to like turn this mug out as if there wasn't already enough mess going on. Hold on, here's the protesters. Can y'all see them? Can you see? There's a big sign. Wait, hold on. They're saying the big I controls America. I don't want to say it because I don't want to get demonetized, but yeah. Judge Shady Court, we gonna see. So anyway, right? We gonna see if he goes up. So here's the thing, right? This is Judgment Day because a lot of people acted like, oh, the jury didn't convict on Rico. But the Dream Team was very good at creating just a little bit of doubt. You need beyond a reasonable doubt. If there's a little bit of doubt, then you can 100% get off. And that's what happened. The only problem is, this is not about the jury anymore. This isn't. Judge Aaron is looking at the pre-sentencing report. The pre-sentencing report represented between 5 years and 7 months. The pre-sentencing report is a neutral report. They don't have a dog in the game. They're like, yeah, we looked at the offense, we looked at the aggregating factors. I know some people say, oh, it's prostituting. It's not what you did, it's how you did it. It's the difference between me robbing you and being like, yo, give me your money, you give the money and I walk away, or me literally beating you to a pulp, spitting on you, doing urinating, doing all this stuff, and then it's aggregating factors. They're recommending between 5 and 7 years. 5 and 7 years is what they're recommending, and that's them giving grace. Everybody knows this 14 months is laughable. It's laughable. It's too low. Like the prosecution said in their menu thing, it is too low. It's too low for even the departure. It's going to mess up the whole thing. You have to stay within, because if you make it too low or too high, it skews it off, and the government, I guarantee you, will appeal Diddy's sentencing if he gets 14 months, okay? Now, the pre-sentencing report, they're neutral. They don't care. They don't have a dog in the game. They look at what he did. Okay, this was happened. Now, you know the prosecution, they're just savage. They're like, we want 11 years minimum, up to 280 months. Baby, do it for your country, all right? Judge Aaron has signaled that he is not happy with Diddy. He has signaled that he thinks that Diddy does a lot of dumb stuff. He has signaled that he thinks, signaled that he thinks that domestic violence is violence. He has signaled that you admit it yourself. And most importantly, Judge Aaron has been the one to deny bail, not once, not twice, but 3 times, saying he truly believes that he is a danger to society, a sight risk, and that he engaged in obstruction of justice. Again, you don't have to get the whole, and this is where I think Diddy's really, really worried, okay? And he does need to worry about this. Judges are like kings in their own kingdom. You just have to pray that the judge is fair and just. Judge Aaron seems like he is by the book. He seems like he's definitely fair. He seems like he's very gracious. He seems like he's pro-defendant, which, to be honest, even though I think Diddy is guilty as hell, the judge needs to be pro-defendant, because it's too easy for people to have their life pulled away from them and ripped away from them. You want a judge that's gracious and wants a defendant to be able to prove what they did and what they didn't do, okay?
Thank you so much.
That said, Judge Aaron definitely has shown the way he feels, and the judges are kings in their own kingdom. Unless Judge Aaron does something completely out of pocket, even though you can appeal, it is very, very low chance that it will be appealable. Again, what would he do something out of pocket? Maybe sentence him for 20 years, right? Because that's the absolute maximum. And you can argue, did he really deserve it? Sending him to 14 months, that's way too low. That's a slap on the wrist for the aggregating factors. Again, it's not just the charge of what you did. The pre-sentencing report by the probation office shows, and what the prosecution is worried about is how you did it. So there's a lot of factors going in. Diddy is pulling out all the stops. Young Miami wrote a dumb letter, dear Your Honor. I'm still like, at what point does playing stupid not get you anywhere? And at this point, I hope she's playing a character, and I hope that's not what she gave the judge. So you have the Young Miami, Gina Hum came out swinging. Gina Hum came out swinging, okay? Gina Hum was like, yo, A, B, C, D, and F, and this is why I think, hold on, this is my alarm. I thought I was gonna oversleep. I even set an alarm for 8:30, because you know me. It's not too far away from everything. Hold on a second. Gina Hahn, she came out swinging. She wrote a second letter to the judge saying she truly believes. But when I read Gina's letter, and she definitely sounded more eloquent, I said, yo, Gina is up. Young Miami, you got 48 hours to respond. I'm waiting for her montage. If she really loved him, why didn't she show up in the video with him? Unless Diddy thought you were a bad look, but who knows? But here's the thing with Gina Hahn. Gina Hahn was also on some pointing out, I just think if you could, I think he deserves to go home. And I said, okay. At least it was very articulate, and it was very well written. The only thing is, Gina, we saw you on Tasha K. We know what you said Diddy did to you. So it's kind of like, yeah, I get what you're saying, but Gina, you already said that in your mind, someone treating you like that is not a big deal. And you think that's part of a relationship. And even someone that treated you like that is still a dear, dear friend. You look the other way with criminal toxicity. So why would we take your word for if someone or not is a good person and actually needs to actually sit in? Hold on. Oh, interesting. There's also a few other things that have come up. Hold on. There's also a few other things that have come up. Oh, let's talk about, if you guys don't know, I did a live that had Jordan and Deontay Nash's letters, Chef Jordan, which were super, super, super powerful letters. Deontay Nash says he feared for his life working with Diddy. He just actually gave another statement. He said his ex-stylist, Deontay Nash, he testified, but he's also now suing Diddy for sexual assault and for assault, and as he should. As he should. Good for him, cutie patootie. Listen to what he said. He said, Deontay Nash is finally speaking out after filing a lawsuit against a disgraced music mogul, saying he feared for his life the entire time he worked for Diddy. And a teaser for his he's doing a CBS Mornings interview dropping Friday. Eat it up, Deontay. They said Deontay, who worked with Diddy, hold on, it's getting hot. Need to move into the shade. Okay, that's good. Sorry, it was getting hot. Marie beat my face, but it's up to me to keep it on. Hold on, let me get my fan really quick. My fan's dead. Okay, anyway, we just gonna have to ride out with this. Okay, so my fan's dead. Okay, so anyway, Deontay Nash, my fan's dead. Okay, so Deontay Nash said, who worked with Diddy from 2008 to 2018, alleges Diddy strangled him multiple times. And he even told others on his team that he'd end up murking him. Deontay said he always kept a go bag ready, rattling off every item of clothing and cash he had packed, so when push came to shove, he'd be ready to go into hiding. He said Diddy's behavior was treated as normal, with everyone just smoothing things over. Who exactly are we gonna tell? Who you gonna call? Ghostbusters? There was no one there to save us. Oh, this sun is kicking my butt. I hate, New York weather is like the worst. Hold on. Like the worst. Hold on. Okay, there we go. He did. Just a little technical error. No, the fan's not even working. I need to charge it. Don't worry, I'll charge it. I have a charger in my bag, but. Okay, just a little technical difficulty. All right, so there we go. All right. So he went on to say, he said, who are you going to call? Ghostbusters? There was no one there to save us. He filed suit last week, going after Diddy for sexual battery, human trafficking, and more. He wants compensatory and punitive damages, and he's demanding a jury trial. I will be covering this trial. He said, remember, Deontay testified during Diddy's federal criminal trial in New York City. And when asked during his testimony if he was considering a civil lawsuit, he denied it, saying, I'm focusing on getting out of here. And he got out of there, and now he's doing a civil lawsuit. Now, really quick, we have about 30 minutes. You know what? I want to read you guys Chef Jordan's letter, because I feel like we let this flop. But here's the thing. I really want to read Chef Jordan's letter because I think it's super, super powerful. And I think a lot of people just went over it. Hold on, where is it? Where's Chef Jordan's letter? Do I have it in my photos? Just give me 1 second. Let me pull up this letter. I think it's super, super powerful, and I think it needs to be read. That's Cassie's letter. Where is Chef Jordan's letter? Let's go into the docs. Hold on. Okay, here we go. I got it. Let's get into Chef Jordan's letter. It's very, very powerful, and a lot of people didn't read it, and I don't want to let this flop because it needs to be said. So Jeff Jordan, for whatever reason, the prosecution didn't let her testify, which I think was a big, big mistake, because the impact that she had and what she said was super, 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 super powerful, okay? Chef Jordan said, 1 second. You guys, hold on. The trial ain't started. Hey, Tatiana de Superiors at Portugal, Lisbon watching. Oh, thank you. I'll be super, super safe. Thank you, you guys. Okay, so let's get into Chef Jordan's letter. Is this her? Oh, I found it. Okay. Listen to this. She basically gave a full testimony in the victim statement, and I'm glad Judge Aaron can actually read this, okay? Interesting enough, I find it odd that every person that wrote a character reference for Diddy, none of them, not one person that wrote a character reference for Diddy, not one of them actually testified, and that was Diddy's choice. Interesting, right? To whom it may concern, my name is Jordan Sean Atkinson, and I was Sean Combs' personal chef from the summer of 2007 through the spring of 2010. Just listen to this. During my time, I can say I was extremely overworked, underpaid, mentally abused, exploited, and at one point I was assaulted by Sean Combs. Again, everybody can't be lying. Keep in mind that as you read this, she was 20 years old. Cassie was 19. Diddy knew how to take, I think, young, impressionable people that just wanted a shot. And here's the thing. You know how Diddy's always like, oh, black's excellence. He's doing things for black and brown people. On the surface, it sounds great. But he realized, which is good, that there's a lot of talent in the community. And he would take that talent in the community. And once he got that talent, he would exploit it just like everyone else. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, wait, so now it's better to be exploited by a black billionaire? Then, okay, I guess, right? Keep it in the community. She said, not only was I exploited by Sean Combs, I was also exploited by his HR executive staff. Throughout my time there, they would constantly manipulate me into silence, staying in my position by saying they would get help to ensure I had days off. Now, you guys, I know what you're saying. Okay, wow, but you guys, trust me, this gets good. Okay. She said that okay. Throughout my time there, by saying they would help me ensure I got time off, there was also the time in which they told me to spearhead the creation of Ciroc flavors. I was the one who chose, sampled, and tweaked the flavors throughout their inception, for which I was never compensated. That's millions right there. Again, Diddy stole labor, he stole time, he stole innocence, he stole youth. This was the most toxic and abusive workplace environment I've ever been in my entire career. It was extremely traumatizing to relive all this. It was hard to live through the first time around my mid-20s. Now in my mid-40s, a lot of things I was too young and naive to understand. But the reality of it all is, it's cemented in my mind now. I've spent the past year and a half in a constant fight stage or flight mode, and I'm currently trying to heal and repair all the damage. There was also a time in which Sean Combs threatened my life to keep me silent about the abuse towards Cassandra Fine. I have a journal from this time that I've never read until Cassie's case came out in November 2023, and it was like opening a Pandora's box, reading what my 20-year-old self had to endure. I was there to witness the start of Sean Combs and Cassie's relationship. This has been an extremely traumatizing time in my life, the past year and a half. Having to unearth the past and relive it all over again. I never forgot what I experienced during my time there, but I for sure buried it in order to survive. I spent the past 18 years building my career in a high-profile sector, and this case has destroyed the life I worked so hard to create. When you become a personal staff to a high-profile people, you become part of a secret society. Discretion is the foundation. I didn't willingly participate in this case. What I recognize now, this is what happens with collective silence. My silence gave Sean Combs the space and the time to grow more violent. This is Chef Jordan, Diddy's personal chef for about 10 years. She didn't testify for some reason. However, she wrote a victim statement, and this is her testimony because, baby, she is giving receipts. She said, when I started working with Sean Combs, he and Cassie were in the grooming phase. That's what it was in my eyes. She was 19, he was 36. There were lavish dinners, shopping sprees, all of that. All in the guise of creating a new artist. But nah, Sean was working on her, like men with money do. I was there in Miami when their working relationship turned romantic. During that weekend, I saw Cassie, and she was given copious amounts of rugs. I encountered her extremely high out of her mind, and I offered her food to help bring her down. I witnessed Sean cursing his assistant David James out for not having condoms on the yacht. I remember thinking it was crazy and gross. Like, why is he so mad about condoms not being on the yacht? Now think about this, right? Think about this. The fact that Cassie was high out of her mind and Diddy was running around looking for condoms, the fact that he comes from a generation that's cool, that if a woman is high out of her mind, that's what you do to get her to go into bed, I guess. Okay. It was never that serious. It was gross, but it stuck in my mind because that's when I knew this was no longer a working relationship. They were both extremely high the whole weekend. And really, thereafter, I saw Sean abuse prescription meds, weed, and ecstasy. And I would say there was an obsessive nature about them. He would go on drug binges and wouldn't let any of us sleep, let alone get any breaks. I was working 17 to 21 hours a day, 7 days a week. I worked for almost 2.5 to 3 months straight until I had a day off. He screamed and cursed at me when he saw me having casual conversations with Cassie. He said I wasn't supposed to be talking to her if it wasn't about food. He also cursed me out when he saw me speaking to guests at one of his parties. He was watching me from across the room. He then pulled me aside and said I wasn't supposed to be talking to his friends. That he didn't work all these years for me to come and steal his relationships. Sean Combs would curse me out if I fed people without his permission. He made me feel like I had to look at the floor and not make eye contact with his guests. I say he was like a pimp, like he was a pimp does to women. Hold on, y'all, we getting there. This is Diddy's private chef. She wrote the impact statement to the court, but it reads like testimony, and it needs to be said. During this time in November 2007, while at the Miami estate, I witnessed Sean Combs get aggressive and borderline violent with the estate manager, Amanda. He was enraged by the fact that Amanda was allowing her house staff to eat. When Sean questioned her about it, she lied and said, I never told Jordan to feed them. Amanda and I actually got into a big argument about feeding the staff because I told her I wasn't being paid to do that. I actually called HR to get clarity. They informed me I was supposed to feed them. One day, Sean saw the groundskeeper making themselves a plate, even though I said they shouldn't, because he hadn't even eaten yet himself. Of course, as they were making their plates, he comes downstairs. Once he sees this, he immediately starts screaming and cursing about who told them they could eat. I stood there silent. I didn't want to get anyone in trouble. I could tell he was furious. Ultimately, Sean's security told him that Amanda told me that I was supposed to feed them. Diddy then called Amanda and I into the kitchen. He started screaming and cursing at Amanda, saying, why you lying? Why you lying? Why are you telling Jordan to feed the staff? Ultimately, he was screaming. He gets up and throws a bottle of water across the room saying, I'm a MFing king and you're lying in my effing face right now. Amanda was saying she told me to only provide leftovers to her staff. I just told Amanda, just tell the truth. I was instructed to get security to separate them, okay? Because he used the phone that Diddy couldn't see and asked Dia, the HR person, what should I do because I think he's gonna hit Amanda. Security, they said, yo, go get security and separate them, which I did, all the while leaving the phone on the ledge so Dia could hear everything. Amanda resigned not long after that incident. I believe it fractured their working relationship. Amanda and I never recovered. She blamed me for the incident. After that trip, my hair started falling out. I was having anxiety attacks with heart palpitations. I asked HR if they could rush my benefits through because I needed to see a doctor. I was diagnosed with stress-induced alopecia and extreme anxiety attacks. I was prescribed Zoloft. Throughout this time, I was constantly calling the office. I was begging for help and begging for days off. And when you work 17 to 21 hours a day, you never really rest because your body and mind are still racing when you lay down. And by that time, you have to get up for the next day. HR kept stringing me along, saying they would help me get days off. I was so young and I just wanted to prove I could do it. I stayed, thinking at some point things would change, but they never did. Listen, you know what the funny thing about this is, and it's not funny, but let me just say this. It's crazy to me that they didn't actually let this woman testify, because I think she proved the RICO. I think she proved that the staff was in on it. I think that through her testimony, she could prove that a lot of people saw a lot of things. I think it's just actually really amazing that they actually left this gym on the ground. In April 2008 at the Alpine, New Jersey estate, Sean Combs physically assaulted me. This is Chef Jordan, his personal chef for 10 years. Diddy physically assaulted me. We got into a heated argument and I quit. Now keep in mind, there's another chef that Diddy had, I believe, after this girl quit, that sued him because he was having her serve him during freak-offs. And I think Diddy actually settled with her, but she was suing him for having to serve him during freak-offs. And back then, all she kept saying was, oh, I had to serve him while he was in the nude with a bunch of his guests. So Diddy, his private chef, saw a lot. Anyway, right? We got into a heated argument and I quit. This enraged him. He kept saying I couldn't effing quit on him. As I was walking out the house, he was following me, screaming and cursing and berating me. Once the door was open, Sean used all of his might to push me out the door. I went flying and ended up on my elbows and butt. Why? Because, hey, how are you, Mama? Hey.
If you need me, you got my number, right?
Yes, definitely.
I'm gonna make sure when because Nick, whatever her name is, was crying it. I said,
see you, Mama. Thank you. I'll see you in court. Yes. Okay. So anyway, right? They kept saying sorry. So she said that he pushed her down the steps and she flew and landed on her butt and elbows. But why? Because there were 2 steps to get up into the house. And so it was a pretty hard fall. I called the police but hung up. I called HR and told them I was going to sue them. HR told me that I would be blackballed and my career would be over if I sued them. They said that Sean had the power to blackball me and in my career. And this is when I just started. I chose my career and I stayed quiet. I left for a few months, but I was asked to come back. I was assured this would never happen again. That Sean, I keep saying Sean Carter, it's Sean Combs. Every time I see SC, because she keeps putting SC, I just keep thinking Sean Carter, but it is not, in fact, Sean Carter. It is Sean Combs. Sorry. I keep saying the S. I'll call him Diddy. Let me stop saying Sean. And that's the only Sean I know. Well, not know, but recognize, right? Anyway, right? They said that Diddy had the power to blackball me and end my career when it just started. I chose my career and I stayed quiet. I left for a few months, but I was asked to come back. I was assured this would never happen again. That Diddy would apologize and that they would find help so I could get days off. HR said that they would look at budgets for a pay increase. At this time, I was only making $65K. I wasn't working after I left, so when they called, I went back. He apologized, but none of the other things ever happened. In 2008, 2009, hold on really quick. Hold on. One second. Hold on, I'm getting an update on the case. One more second. Hold on, getting an update about the case. Hello? Hello? Yeah. Check your messages. Check your messages now. Yeah, bye. Okay, just got an update. We'll see if it pans out. But they are saying that Diddy's team is very worried, and there is something saying that Diddy's team actually might be running out. Well, Diddy might be getting a little bit cash poor, and there's going to be something. Listen, I can't say anything right now, but you'll see in a second. I'll tell y'all at lunch, because by that time, it'll be cool. Anyway, let's get back into Chef Jordan, because it was just getting real. Hold on. Chef Jordan's statement. Let's get back into you. It's a long, hold on, I just lost the statement. 1 second. 1 second. I lost it. Hold on, you guys. I'm going to get it back. Let's go into... 1 second. So anyway, how y'all doing today? Hold on, let me be serious. I just lost the statement. Let me get it back. So anyway, this is Chef Jordan. She's detailing how she saw Diddy beat Cassie. And on top of that, she saw the beginning of Cassie's relationship where he got her high out of her mind and literally was trying to take advantage of her. Then she then said she finally got fed up with Diddy and she quit, and Diddy physically assaulted her, but then he did even more than that. Where are you? Okay, we found her statement again. Where we last left our beleaguered heroine, right? She said, I'm quitting. He's like, you ain't MFing quitting. She's like, I'm quitting, I'm done. She tried to go out the house. When she was leaving the house, he pushed her off the steps. She flew down 2 steps and landed on her elbows and her arms on the ground. And anybody knows that when you fall off the steps, that's just a hard fall, okay? She then called HR. HR told her that you better shut up. He's gonna blackball you. He's gonna apologize, all this other stuff, right? They said, Diddy apologized, but none of the other things ever happened. They said in 2008, hey, how you doing? They said in 2008 and 2009, right? They said Genevieve called the office, that's the HR person, right? And went to the kitchen phone to call 911. I was told to hang up and they would send his private doctors over. I was told to leave. The incident was minimized. HR said that Diddy had a reaction to his prescription meds and alcohol. I told AR I knew what a blank was and I left it alone. So she's implying, I think it sounds like she's saying she saw Diddy, but I left it alone. Diddy had some of his prescriptions added to my prescription pickups a few times in Miami, so he was using her as a drug mule. Both these incidents were examples of how I assume rich people do things, so that the public doesn't find out their personal business, not understanding that some of this was illegal. In 2009 in LA, I was informed by Diddy security, Roger Bonds, that Diddy had, here we go, listen, that she had brutally beat Cassie and that Roger Bonds thought Diddy was going to kill Cassie. I was shocked as Roger Bonds detailed the beating. He said that Diddy was punching her in the head and stomping her outside the car. At one point, Cassie ran from the car. Hey, how are you, sir? I'll see you up in court. They said that at one point, Cassie ran from the car and was dragged by Diddy through the concrete back into the car. Genevieve, the assistant, was in the car. She was trying to break it up too. Roger Bonds was concerned about Genevieve and said that she was hyperventilating. Roger Bonds asked to check on Genevieve. When I went to check on Jen, she acted like she didn't know what I was talking about. So I left it alone. I went back to my post in the kitchen. Sean Combs came screaming and cursing into the kitchen, saying, Chef, why are you in my MFing business? What goes on in my relationship is my MFing business. I will effing end you if you tell anyone. Now, isn't it funny? That's what Dawn and everybody else said. It makes me think they were telling the truth because this is Diddy's thing. I will end you. I will effing end you. Oh, look, here comes Nicole Westmoreland. Hold on. There's Nicole Westmoreland, Hell's favorite lawyer. Here's Nicole Westmoreland, right? There we go. There's Brian Still. There you go. Okay. So there you go. They're asking if they're nervous. The legal team is coming. Let me get through this victim statement so I can get in court. Hold on really quick, right? Anyway, right? They said, okay, he said, I will effing end you if you tell anyone. I took this to mean he would kill me. And that you better not tell anyone in the office earlier. It made me realize HR told him I called them about the incident in Miami with Amanda. Up at that point, every time I hear Amanda, I'm like, hi, I'm Amanda. Anyway, right? Okay. I took this if you kill me, blah, blah, blah. Which made me realize HR told him I called them about the incident in Miami. Up to that point, I didn't know that HR told him about me reporting the Miami incident. I believed then that he would murk me if I told anyone he was beating Cassie. So I remained quiet. LF, thank you so much. And also, yeah, hi Amanda. Okay, A day or two later, his assistant Genevieve and I took a bag to Cassie to the London hotel. I saw bruises on her face and arms. We never discussed it. I acted like nothing had happened. Over the course of my time working with Sean Combs, I saw hotel rooms be set up with lights, sheets, baby oil, and Astroglide. 997 said, OOTA, the troll was talking bad. Wait, I gave him doesn't matter. I gave him the no that. Thank you, Nana. You're like, girl, I'm in Belgium. Do what you want. Anyway, right? Anyway, right? I saw Cassie bruised on other 2 occasions, blah, blah, blah. Sean Combs weaponized food, sleeps, and breaks, okay? He was mentally and physically abusive. I saw Cassie bruised on 2 other occasions in Miami and LA, but I never questioned it. I dare not ask either, okay? I always assumed it was freaky things going on, but I never knew the extent. I saw Sean Combs yell, scream, berate staff, artists, employees, and girlfriends, okay? He weaponized food, sleep, and breaks. We were not allowed breaks. We often snuck in to eat. I would sneak food to feed the staff. I got cursed out if I was asked to go home for the day. I wasn't allowed to leave for the day unless he said I could. As I type this, my heart breaks for my younger version of myself. I saw Sean Combs create a drug-fueled environment for artists, executives, and his girlfriends. I saw the aftermath of Smex bitches in New York, New Jersey, Miami, LA, and the Hamptons. I believe that heavy drug use was coercion in order for him to get his way with his participants. He was using drugs with Cassie on day 1 in their consummation. I'm not sure you could ever be a willing participant under those circumstances. Exactly. The drug use was far beyond recreational. Diddy was also having a sexual relationship with, and they blocked that person out. I don't know who they talking about. Hold on really quick. What's going on? Oh, just online. What's up?
Oh, I was gonna ask if I could get a real quick interview. I don't know if you remember me.
I do remember you.
I just wanted like a 50-second interview. It wasn't gonna take that long.
Oh yeah. I'll be off live in just like a few minutes.
All right,
yeah, so if you're
perfect.
around,
Thank you.
definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
perfect.
great. Thank you.
Emmy Nash, thank you so much for the super chat. And also Goldie526, thank you so much. Okay. That was me. Sorry guys. My stand is like, sick of you. Go home. My stand is sick of me. I work it too hard. Okay, hold on. What's going on? Oh, there we go. There was a thing and a thing. All right, so anyway, she says that she believes that there's no way Cassie could have consented. She believes that there was no way. Hold on. He believes that there was no way that Cassie could have submitted because at the end of the day, how can you consent when you are high out of your mind? All right, let's take it back to Chef Jordan. She tells one more horrific thing that happens. She said, oh, this is good. Listen to this. Oh, she said that Diddy was having a sexual relationship with and put blank, which to me was an added layer of control. Someone in her innermost circle keeping tabs on her and also keeping secrets from her, weaponizing her most coveted friendships. And I'm not sure Cassie ever knew about this betrayal. Over the years, I witnessed all of its assistants break down, and they each started abusing drugs or alcohol in order to get through the day. David started using drugs. That's David James. Genevieve, I'm not sure, but after the 2009 beating in LA, blank, she left not long after that. I would binge drink when I was told I had off and smoke weed to calm my nerves. My therapist would say I was self-medicating with the weed. On March 20th, 2024, the Fed showed up at my door in Atlanta. This is the witness tampering. I was terrified and I refused to speak to them without a lawyer present. I was served with a grand jury subpoena before they left my home. By April 4th, Diddy knew I was contacted by the feds. Even though I had not testified yet, this terrified me. By April 11th, Diddy's lawyer, Aaron Driver, left a voicemail stating that they knew I was contacted by law enforcement and that Sean Combs wanted to offer to cover my legal fees. See, I guess he gave everybody the deal that Daphne got. I did not respond. Immediately, I called my lawyers. They instructed me to disregard it. They said they would send out a cease and desist. On April 15th, Aaron texted me about the voicemail and stated in text that they knew I was contacted and reiterated that Diddy wanted to cover my legal fees. I was terrified because I didn't know what was going on. I felt like my life was in danger. On April 17th, 18th, my Cadillac was broken into. My alarm system was tripped. All my personal identifying paperwork and my glove compartment was taken out and neatly placed on my passenger seat. All the contents in the middle console, which had a knife and jewelry, were also laid out on that seat. The only thing stolen was my dog. Hold on. My dog is like my child, okay? Hold on. She said my dog is like my child. I took this as witness tampering and intimidation. In my mind, this was a clear threat. So I called the police and filed a police report. I stated to the feds that were in my house 2 weeks prior that I believe this was intimidation, okay? Look who we have. Look who's coming. Hold on. Y'all see this man?
Good morning.
Look, Mark Agnifilio.
How is Diddy? Is he nervous
Right
today?
there.
You know what? We'll talk after.
Yana! There goes Mark Agnifilio. Okay, so we'll go. It's almost time for me to go back in court, but let me just finish this because this is getting good. So she said that her car was broken into, everything was laid out neatly, even knife and jewelry. My dog is like my child. I took this as witness tampering and intimidation. In my mind, this was a clear threat. I called the police and filed a police report. I stated to the feds who were at my house 2 weeks prior that I believed this was intimidation because the person at the center of the case didn't want me talking. I didn't have proof that this was Sean Combs' doing, but I firmly believed that it was him. He was sending me a message letting me know it was easy, how easy it was to touch me if he wanted to. By the time I was being asked for months to be a part of the documentary by Sean Combs, and I kept declining. I decided after Sean Combs made contact with me through his lawyers that I would do the documentary as a form of protection for myself in case anything more happened to me. I wanted it on record that he assaulted me, and I knew the brutal 2009 assault of Ventura fine, which is detailed on page 14 of her new lawsuit against him. Sean never denied the 2009 assault. He just threatened to end me if I kept silent. I took it as he would kill me. I accepted he might have killed me for my participation in the doc. Even now, and I believe he could still blank me. After the 2016 brutal beating of Cassie was released, I realized that our collective silence only emboldened Sean Combs. He didn't get help. He didn't stop. He just got worse. The fact of the matter is Sean Combs is an abusive maniac. He doesn't just physically, mentally, or financially abuse and exploit his girlfriends, but he does it to his staff as well. He has spent decades abusing almost everyone around him, unchecked. So many of us just wanted to create our dream careers, and Sean had us living in a nightmare. Reliving this all has been extremely traumatic. Seeing him essentially get off of the most serious offenses, terrifying. This was a miscarriage of justice, in my opinion. For him to now say upon his release he wants to become a DV counselor is truly sick. Him and his legal team should be ashamed of themselves. This PR media tour his legal team is taking just further proves how much Sean Combs believes himself to be above the law and that he has no remorse for the hurt he has caused any of us. Cassie said he raped her. Mia said he raped her. I believe he's a serial rapist. We are both supposed to testify, but were ultimately removed from the last minute. Now, she blanks out somebody else's name, so there was I wish that they had just waited a little longer and held out and brought more witnesses up. But I think what they thought was that Diddy's team was going to have witnesses and they were going to have like people there. And I think they didn't want the trial to go so long. And then Diddy's team faked them out and said, never mind, we're not bringing anyone in. They said Sean Combs likes to weaponize fatherhood, his children, and comporter. When in reality, she blanked that out. Where were his kids while he was a menace to society all these years? Sean Combs is a billionaire, not a street-level pimp. He chose to use drugs to coerce women into becoming his own personal sex slave. He used those recorded sexual escapades to hold over their heads to keep them in check. He used his staff to get rugs, to facilitate and cover up crimes. He kidnapped Capricorn Clark at gunpoint. He was going to blank Kid Cudi. These things really happened. It's sick how it's all been minimized. Nothing what any of us endured was normal. The RICO was there the whole time. Sean Combs got away with it instead of being satisfied that he essentially got off. He chose to let his ego keep driving him. Instead of being thankful, he and his team have decided to make a mockery out of his victims in the judicial system. It is for these reasons I believe Sean Combs should get the maximum sentence available. I don't believe he can ever be rehabilitated. He is a master manipulator. I don't think he would be allowed to live in I don't think he should be allowed to live in New York City, New Jersey, LA, or Miami. He should have to relocate to the middle of nowhere, far away from the places he preyed on and harmed so many people. Not only do I fear for my safety, I fear for all witnesses that participated in this case. I know Sean Combs to be a very dangerous and spiteful man with a long memory and a panache for payback. Thank you for your time and consideration. Sincerely, Chef Jordan. You guys, that was a letter. That was a letter. That was a letter. And again, I love the way she gave testimony. Joel said, hey, thank you. You nailed your big story day after day. Diddy's worst day is just one of your best days. What's the next big scoop? There's so much going on. There's a David case, but also don't forget that there's another guy that got arrested for Diddy-like crimes. There's a few cases going on. I think I'm going to do a deep dive into a podcast. Aisha said, good morning, TSM fam. Thank you for being the voice of the people. Oh, thank you. You're doing an amazing job, sweetie, covering this case. I'm praying for you. I pray that Diddy gets the max sentence of crime. I am too. And even if it's max sentence, he's not going to spend the rest of his life in jail. You get what I'm saying? Chef Jordan 100% should have been on stand. Again, I think here's what the media did. And they messed up. Not the media, the Southern Judge. I think they got outmaneuvered by Mark Agnifilio. It was a smart move. They made it seem like they had a bunch of witnesses. They didn't want the case to go too long. So they cut it short. And also, here's the thing. When it's your witnesses, you have to kind of be soft, and then there's a lot of cross-examining. I think they thought the cross-examining might hurt the case, and they said, you know what, let Diddy bring their witnesses and we can rip them apart on stand. And I think they were thrown for a loop that they were like, yeah, no witnesses. And the government was like, shit. And they were praying that the case was proven enough. But as we see, that's not actually what happens, That actually wasn't what happened. Again, it's a perfect fit, right? Listen, Deontay Nash said Diddy's psychological impact on victims, his release will re-traumatize survivors, many of whom remain in hiding for their safety. The court has a duty to uphold justice and protect those speaking out. Influence over potential co-conspirators. Release would allow him to coordinate with uncharged associates to retaliate or construct false narratives. No remorse or accountability. To date, he has shown no general remorse, only carefully crafted statements issued under legal pressure. This lack of accountability should weigh heavily against them and public safety concerns. The allegations include violent physical abuse, death threats, and intimidation. His release would endanger survivors. He talks about Diddy's reach being suffocating. He said he strangled him multiple times. This is Deontay Nash. He said he has caused lasting damage to the lives and careers of nearly everyone in his inner circle, past, present, and likely future. Some complied willingly. Many more felt coerced. He taunted victims through songs that contradicted the truth, creating false narrative that could never safely be challenged because of fear he instilled. He pursued Cassie through friends, despite both of us telling him she wanted no contact. He openly declared to his victims that he does not respect or care about the legal system. Listen, Deontay is suing Diddy. We already read that. We're going to read his whole lawsuit, probably in a different day. We're going to cover that trial too. But at the end of the day, I just want to say, also, Miss Boss Divas at T said, so much love for you and all you do. May the diddler get the book thrown at his head and get years get years of concussions. Exactly. Listen, you guys, listen. We have to go into court. Court is starting soon. We are going to be out with as many updates as we can get. This is going to be a hell of a day. It might roll into Monday. If it does, I will be here on Monday. But at the end of the day, hey, what's up, Sam? At the end of the day, it is what it is. Let's get into this, and I will talk to y'all later. Oh, look, here come the ABC girlies getting out. The ABC girlies have arrived. They are getting out looking good. That is my cue to go into court because they know what time court is. All right, guys, I'll talk to y'all later.